It is 2 p.m. Very good afternoon and welcome to FESBC Market View. My name is Lungilele Makakula. Thank you for tuning in. It is the 26th of September 2024. Entrepreneurs in the Lubombo region must stay glued to their screens as today we'll be joined by Sabi Ngumalo, who is the National Administrator, and Lubombo Chairperson Samo Mabila to tell us about joining the Federation in the Lubombo region. The Federation of Eswatini Business Community, FESBC, is a membership-based federation that is primarily a representative of local small and medium enterprises. And for our news today, our leading story today, the first phase of the construction of the 4 billion Manzini Arch Development Project by African Alliance will see 1,200 Eswatini getting employment. You do not want to miss this one. To wrap up the program, today's analyst Sibiya will connect with us for today's market analysis. For now, let's get into our first story. The first phase of the construction of the 4 billion Arch Development Project by African Alliance will see 1,200 Eswatini getting employment. Speaking during the commissioning of the project, the Minister for Commerce, Industry and Trade, Honorable Mangloba Khumalo, says the first phase is set to be completed in 24 months.
Government continues to create a public infrastructure that is essential for long-term economic growth and societal well-being. Today, the Minister for Commerce, Industry and Trade, Honorable Mangloba Khumalo, commissioned the Manzini Arch project by African Alliance at the Manzini Golf Course.
The Manzini Arch project represents a total investment of 4 billion emalangeni, a demonstration of African Alliance's unwavering commitment to fostering growth and development in our economy. As we embark on this first phase of this project, which is estimated to cost up to 1.6 billion emalangeni, we recognize the opportunities that lie ahead, not only for the economy, not only for the investor, but for the people of Manzini and beyond. This project will introduce exciting amenities to our community, including the first drive-through KFC in Manzini, a modern hotel, and a remarkable facility that will be a one-stop shop for government services that will be called the Jewel. This world-class building will house key government services, ensuring that citizens have access to essential resources in a convenient and efficient manner, and everything is found in one place. For this, we thank African Alliance profusely for coming up with this vision and partnering with government to make this a reality. Moreover, we are committed to creating spaces for the community to gather together, socialize, and thrive. The first phase will include a public park, thoughtfully designed to be inclusive and suitable for people of all ages. Additionally, we will provide retail spaces for different businesses so that we can continue to foster entrepreneurship and innovation and allow local businesses to flourish. I am pleased to announce that the preliminary work for the project will commence immediately, with more extensive construction set to continue in the new year 2025. This project will initially engage 1,200 Eswatini who will be immediately employed whilst this project is being implemented. And this is a very welcome relief for, in particular, young people who are suffering from lack of employment opportunities. As the project expands, we anticipate creating even more employment opportunities, supporting our goal of reducing unemployment and enhancing the livelihoods of our citizens. Manzini Arch project is expected to be completed within 24 months. That is the first phase. And I assure you that we are committed to maintaining the highest standards of efficiency and quality throughout this process. We are going to be a first world country in Eswatini. If you doubt that, come and see what Manzini will look like in 24 months. And this particular project will be the showcase not only of Eswatini, but the African continent.
Partner at the African Alliance, Tofeni Gininza, says they are committed to investing in the country's economy.
I'm going to refer to Malkan Square, where we said, we are building 150 units, the retail business, the retail center. I am glad to tell you now that the entire 150 apartments or units that are there are fully occupied. As I speak now, they have started another 150 units. We create a city in a city. That is why you'll see in the development that we have, our city that we have. A city covers everything. You'll see that when you go to Eswatini, some of you may know where Parliament is, where we'll be also starting something there. It's a full development. You have a hotel, you have a medicine school, you have obviously the shops, apartments. That is not a mall. That's a city in a city, because when you are inside, you are supposed to actually have access to all that's there.
The minister says in 3 years a new golf course will be completed so that those who love the sport will not be left in the cold. For FESBC Market View, Nelson Dlangamandla, Vuminkosi Nzinisa, Manzini.
The business community says the cut of interest rates by the Central Bank of Eswatini from 7.5% to 7.25% will bring relief to the business sector by reducing the cost of capital. This was said by the Executive Officer Inati Dlamini during an interview.
Companies under Business Eswatini contribute over 90% of the private sector gross domestic product, making the organization one of the key drivers of the economy. Over 100,000 eMaswati are employed by these companies. The business community says the recent interest rate cuts by the Central Bank of Eswatini will play a major part in boosting the performance of the private sector.
We think it's going to go a long way, especially on companies that are borrowing money to expand their businesses. It's going to cut their costs, and therefore the cost of capital is supposed to come down marginally by the 0.25%. We welcome that, especially at a time when we're getting closer to the Christmas shopping season, but also the access to credit by companies means more jobs will be created by it. You will also note that the report that we just issued recently, credit extension to the corporate sector, has grown in leaps and bounds by 4.9% actually, if you look at the quarter in 2023 to 2024. To me, that's a healthy increase, which means now the private sector is back again producing. We are also noting that it means more money also for consumers going to the Christmas season, obviously. Disposable incomes will feed into the GDP growth of this country, which we definitely need. And we are very, very pleased, actually, from where we are sitting, that the GDP performance of this country as we speak now in 2024 is pegged at 4.2%. I dare say this, we may be one of the highest GDP performing countries in the SADC region at 4.2%, and also be aware that also in next year they forecast 3.5%, which is a nice increase on our growth. And also the Lilangeni is getting stronger together with the rand. And I think that will impact on the cost of goods as well. So there is this convergence of good issues, which will be very, very helpful to our economy. In fact, we're even in the weeks to come, fuel to come down.
In addition to the interest rate cut to 7.25% from 7.5%, the Central Bank of Eswatini cut the prime lending rate on loans extended to individuals and businesses from 11% to 10.75%. For FESBC Market View, Nelson Dlangamandla, Vuminkosi Nzinisa, Ezulwini.
It's 10 minutes after 2, and that's it for our business news this afternoon. After the break, Saibi Ngumalo and Mr. Mabila from FESBC join me for an interview.
Renewal of TV licenses for 2024 is now open. Here is a quick reminder. A viewer's TV license costs 180 emalangeni per device. Other accessories such as decoders and set-top box cost 50 emalangeni per device. For traders and repairers, TV license costs 300 emalangeni per business area. And now, to pay your TV license, use these following methods. You can use MTN Mobile Money with the number 762222000 or dial *007 *3 *7#. Or you can use Eswatini Imali. And you can pay our TV license at any post office in the country. Another option is you can use any NetBank branch using our TV license account number 119900430037. Don't forget, when paying for your viewer's TV license, reference with your PIN at all times. And when paying for a retailer TV license, reference with your TIN at all times. For more information, call us on 7802-4543 or 34050163 or 34020879. And you can send us a WhatsApp message on 762222000.
When you choose your adventures, you do so with an open heart and a desire for the unexpected. You embark on journeys to discover new worlds full of wonder. You choose a path to awaken your senses, a world to make you look up and realize just how inspiring this life can be. Arrive and awaken your heart. Explore life in ways only thought possible in your dreams. Discover just how far you'll go to expand your understanding of life's greatest mysteries. There's just one place on this planet with so much to offer. Now is the time for you to have the royal experience in the kingdom.
Welcome back. It's 13 minutes after 2. You're still tuned into FESBC Market View. Do you have a business in the Lubombo region and looking for an effective approach to growing your company? Well, look no further, because today on the show, we bring you a solution as we are joined by a team from the Federation of Eswatini Business Community who will help you amplify your company's voice and keep you up to date with market trends. Today on the studio, we are joined by Sabi Ngumalo, who is the National Administrator, and Lubombo Chairperson Samuel Mabila, to tell us about joining the Federation in the Lubombo region. Asinusele sinemogele siyabonga usinwe nathi lo mhla ekseni kumele ngacala ngawe nje Sabi lokuva ukuthi kahle kahle ngimaphi amabhizinisi noma ke inkampani leti ivumelekile ukuthi lijoine iFESBC.
Sivusela nasibe semaswati bosomabhizinisi lesibheke ukuthi bajoyine FESBC bosomabhizinisi labancane nalabasemkhathini.
Ingabe kumbenefita kanganani kanjani nje somabhizinisi ukuthi abe ngaphansi kwa FESBC?
Kubalekile kuba ngaphansi kwale federation yabosomabhizinisi bemsabo ngoba uyanakekeleka, uhlangabetane kuhlangabetwe idingo takho mangabe udinga kumbe finances uyakhona ukuthi sikwesekele sikuchushise ukuthi ungathola kanjani iloan ukuthi uchubeke noma igrant ukuthi uchubeke nebusiness yakho ithuthuke indlodlobale.
Ngalokuthi sebivele tikhona letinye inhlangano letifana naleti tinengi yini lehlukile lesingathi mhlambe unique njenga FESBC lengakhanga bosomabhizinisi ukuthi hayi mina vele ngifuna ukujoina FESBC?
lokwehlukile nga-FESBC ukuthi somabhizinisi uyanakekeleka, uyacapacitatwa, uyafundziswa ukuthi kuyona le mali loyibolekile ungayibuyisela kanjani ngoba bosomabhizinisi labaningi sibonile ukuthi abakhoni lokusuka ekubeni small babe medium bese sebaba big, bagcina nje bahleli ndzawonye ngesizathu sekuthi abakhona bethembeki, abasiloyal, abakhona lokubuyisela le mali lebolekiwe ukuze bakhona ukuthola lenye bathuthuke. So sing-FESBC siyakhona lokubathuthukisa, sikhone lokubafundzisa ukuthi how do you handle your accounts and how do you pay back your loans.
Okay. Ngibinga kuba bemabila sekukaningi I think si attend imihlangano bosomabhizinisi labancane bayakhala ukuthi esikhatsini esiningi abakhona ifinyelela kahle itimalini ngedizathu letithide. Engabe nine as FESBC nibasita ngani, nibasita kanjani bosomabhizinisi bena?
Ngiyabonga kakhulu emsakadweni. Thina sing-FESBC siyabonga nje ukuthi sithole ithuba la singakhona kufundisa khona emalunga ethu. Siyawakhona emalunga kuwasita ngokuthi ba-understand ngebhizinisi yabo, bakhone futhi ukuthi sibafundzise ukuthi emabhizinisi aranjwa kanjani, futhi phinde futhi noma bangabe badzinga imali siyabakhomba umkhombandlela noma sithi umgwaqo la uthi mawune business ufuna ukuboleka imali ebhange ngitiphi indlela lofanele uhambe kudo. So siyakhona lo small business bethu sibahlanganise sibafundzise ngoba lokufika kwabulala emaswati kakhulu i lack of knowledge. Bosomaswati emaswati lamaningi akati ukuthi mbamba yini la fanele ayende kuze business yakhe idlondlobale nokuthi kuze mhlawumbe akhona ukuthola imali ebhange angasitakala kanjani. So thine ke njenga-FESBC siyakhona lokuthi bosomabhizinisi sihlale nabo phasi sibafundzise sibakhombethe indlela lokuthi imali ikhona emabhange. So lokudzinga ukuthi nikwende ikakhulu sibafundise ngama-business plan ngoba njenga-FESBC sinabo abantu bethu laba khona ukuthi bangakusita ngebusiness plan mawusomabhizinisi ngoba onke emabhange mawufuna imali bafuna ibusiness plan. Kude libhange longafika kulo uthi ngifuna imali bakunethe imali nje, bafuna kubona ama cash flow akho, bafuna kubona your business plans nokuthi ke how do you manage your business.
Njengoba usho nje babe emabile ukuthi vele nenhlangano labo somabhizinisi nibafundzisa ngalabo bo business plan ukuthi yandiwa kanjani business plan, nibafundzisa futhi nangetimali. Ngabe ngaphandle nje kwalenkinga leyo ukuthi baba nenkinga kakhulu ekutholeni imali, ngitiphi letinye inkinga labahlangabetana nato bosomabhizinisi niyakhona ukubalekelela, niyakhona kubahlangabeta kuleto tinkinga?
Siyabonga kakhulu. Tinkinga labahlangabetana nato bosomabhizinisi kakhulu i-competition lesinayo kakhulu sinemabhizinisi labancane. Nyalo i-challenge lesinayo kakhulu abakhala ngayo bosomabhizinisi ukuthi nale eticinzini sekunabo amabhizinisi labakhulu labakhompyutha nalamaswati bosomabhizinisi labancane kangangoba bagcina labo somabhizinisi bemaswati sebavala amabhizinisi abo because abakhona ukhompyutha nalabo somabhizinisi lesebakhona. So ngileyo ingcinamba nje lenkulu lokufuna ukuthi sibuke ukuthi how do we partner nalaba lesengathi sebakhulile bona kumabhizinisi ngoba bafike ba monopolize le business emaswati besa fade out, besa opta to rent out their own shops or businesses. Kangangoba amaswati lamaningi sahleli phasi akasaranisha amabhizinisi. So sine sithi asibuye indlela ukuthi sipartnershana njani nalaba labakhona lesikhompyutha nabo because sikhanda ngathi asakhona ukhompyutha ngoba ama prices ethu khanda ukuthi asetulu ma customers ashiya ma prices alaba labanye aphasi. Then we have the challenge lesithi njengoba somabhizinisi asihlaleni phasi sibukusana ukuthi what be the way forward to improve our businesses, nathi singabe out of market, sibe competitive nalabo somabhizinisi labanye.
Ngibinga konje sebi ingabe vele nibukela ibombo nini bomabhizinisi laselibonjeni, ingabe ngimaphi nje ama opportunities, business opportunities la khona for bosomabhizinisi labaselibonjeni?
Bosomabhizinisi laba baselibonjeni kunema opportunities kakhulu ka mining, kuneti mine letivulwako elibonjeni, letinye tiya operator, letinye tiseta uvulwa endzaweni yakumalinza nje kuna 4 weti mine. Kunempaka lenzala, mpaka old mine, bese kuba nalukho, sekuba nalibhuku, sekuba na lesi-4 Maloma usenaye solibonjeni namhlume mhlume sovele uya-operate yes so bosomabhizinisi labancane bayathola lama opportunities ukuthi bakhone ku-supplya noma ku-provide ama-services kulama mines lakhona so siyakhuthata kakhulu lokuthi ba-affiliate ku-FESBC so that batokhona kwati bathole the first hand information ukuthi nyalo ukuthi ngeke emathenda kunemathenda la kanje bangathendarisha kanjani yonke le information batayithola via FESBC.
Okay kugcina nje babe mabela ngibuya ngakuwe samabhizinisi lomncane ufuna ukujoina FESBC ngabe wenda kanjani nifola kuphi akuphi amahhovisi yini kumele ayiphathe nje.
Siyabonga kakhulu samabhizinisi lofuna ukujoina thina ema-office ethu sitholakala eStake Town Council office number 12 tinombolo tethu le ungasithola kuto ngi-7671 4656 leyo inombolo yaTerry McFadden long treasurer wethu bese yami inombolo 76022 120 noma 7645 5674 siyatholakala kuleti nombolo leto uma ufuna ukujoyina ke for more information ungashayela kuleti nombolo sengunikete tona kepha nje standard joining fees ethu 6500 emalangeni bese ubhadala i-monthly contribution lengu-265 ngenyanga.
Okay no ngiyavakala sesema ukuthi bosomabhizinisi batasebenzisa leti nombolo yativetile babe mabela kubuta kabandi ngokuthi ujoina kanjani ka-FESBC yini lo itsingako sasekhe funa sibuya sawuchumana na Sanele Sibiya.
Ujala masada mahle kunathi lesa.
Sabatandi ukuthi njengalokho sivile sive sithi khulumeni.
When you choose your adventures, you do so with an open heart and a desire for the unexpected. You embark on journeys to discover new worlds full of wonder. You choose a path to awaken your senses, a world to make you look up and realize just how inspiring this life can be. Arrive and awaken your heart. Explore life in ways only thought possible in your dreams. Discover just how far you go to expand your understanding of life's greatest mysteries. There's just one place on this planet with so much to offer. Now is the time for you to have the royal experience in the kingdom.
Welcome back. You're still tuned into FESBC Market View. Thank you for tuning in. We now connect with Sanele Sibiya, in-house economist, for today's financial market analysis. A very good afternoon, Sanele. Thank you for tuning in. We have only about 6 minutes for today's analysis. If you could just quickly, cover that. But first, let's start off with international. What's happening in international markets? China released their monetary policy yesterday. Are companies benefiting? How is this affecting companies?
Thank you, Lou. So, good afternoon to the viewer. So if we look at the markets, you will see that the US is still showing mixed signals in terms of response to that monetary policy easing that we saw last week. So if we're looking in the US, you will see that, that the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones Industrial Average, those ones actually closed a bit on the low. That's purely because we are looking into waiting and getting more market data to come come out of the US, really showing whether it's what's going to happen with the interest rate. So that's what markets are trying to price in right now. And those inflation fears with these vigorous interest rate cuts that are coming in. But we do expect this to stabilize probably over the next week as we get more data and more clarity out of the US. But if we move on to the European markets, you will see that in Europe, everything is relatively green, purely and on the background of the fact that we know that London is actually coming out of austerity. If you see the German, the DAX is actually approaching a 19,000, and the franc and the CAC is actually coming up to the 7.5 mark within that market loop. So what we are seeing there is purely because the markets, they are benefiting from the huge stimulus that France has actually put into the market, and also the fact that when you look into the valuation of companies that are trading largely in the London Stock Exchange and also across Frankfurt and in France and Paris, you will see that there wasn't this much overvaluation and what we call AI optimism that we saw really moving markets in the US back early in the year, where we saw companies like NVIDIA really just performing way above what people expected because of that AI optimism that we were seeing. So that's why we're seeing most of the world markets trading on a positive, while the US markets are still trying to find their way, purely because there was that overvalued artificial intelligence outlook on the market. So we still expect that to fizzle out before we can get back into the interest rate effects. Coming into Asia, you will see that with this huge stimulus that the Chinese government is planning to roll out, like trying to get liquidity back into Chinese lenders, into the Chinese banks, you will see that China overall has actually extended some gains, and we are back into that 3,000 mark when you look at the Shanghai Composite Index, and then also look at the Hang Seng. It's also doing very well, very well. And again, if you look into Japan, it's still doing very well. So there it's a mix of the stimulus that's been injected by the Chinese government into the financial sector and trying to show up demand within the overall Chinese markets, and also the interest rate cuts that we saw last week. And it is expected that we should expect more demand coming out. So that's why the Nikkei there in Japan has actually gained 1,000+ points, settling back to around 38,000. We're hoping to go back to those 40,000 region if this bullish run continues. And coming into South Africa, you will see that the markets really this side are really eating up, and they're really responding to the stimulus. As you know, the South African markets, ever since the elections, there's been very little to not talk of load shedding. So we've seen those fundamentals fall back into the market. And now with this cut in interest rates and with demand expected to go up, that's why we are seeing the markets galloping way above now to the 87,000 mark, really moving closer and edging closer to, the records we saw in 2003. So we really are hoping to go back to that 29 mark. And then when you come domestically, things haven't changed much in the domestic market. In terms of our commodities, you will see that gold still remains high, and purely because we are still waiting for clearer data in terms of the inflation outlook and that interest rate outlook in the US. As we get more clarity there, we should expect to start seeing gold giving up some of its gains towards equities. And then when we are looking in terms of the price of Brent crude, what we are seeing there with Brent crude is it continuously is on the decline, back on that 71 per barrel range today, purely because the markets are still awaiting a clearer signal in terms of what is going to happen in terms of demand going forward. So there's still that lack of faith in that Chinese stimulus. Most analysts are saying it's a start, but it's not enough. So waiting to see how that is going to play into the market. When you come into the currencies, you will see that the domestic Lilangeni has actually gained ground against all major currencies, Lulu. That's purely on the background of that forecast improved demand within the region, and also forecast that we are forecasting of the improved demand, and we are also seeing those forecasts in terms of the production that we are going to see in the market with little to no load shedding. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sanile, for that analysis for today's financial markets. And that's it for today's FESBC Market View. Do tune in next week, Monday at exactly 2 p.m. Enjoy the rest of your day.